Good morning. It is Saturday again, and guess where I am at? McDonald's again. So this is now turning into a regular occurrence where I'm always sitting out in front of McDonald's doing the recording. Good, bad. I'm getting bored with sitting in here. Have not been brave enough to walk into the store or into McDonald's, sit there and do vlogging. So that's something that I have to work on, definitely. So today I had an interesting conversation with my daughter in my car as I was driving her to Chinese school. We're talking about mindset. How some people have the ability to do certain things, and how there are those that constantly does not improve. And how do you improve? And it's all the mindset. It's all about having confidence in yourself and saying it's okay to fail. It's okay for me to try, and it's not a big deal. If I fail, I fail, right? But there's this concept that you can't fail, or that you're not good enough. And I've seen people and me too, right? Sometimes I get to a point where, well, I'm not good enough at this, so I can't do this. I can't do YouTube. I can't do recording. I can't talk to myself into a camera. There's too much of this. It's too difficult. There's this mental block that we have. And that's interesting to see. For me to see that play out in a work environment. Not only do we see it in individuals, we see it that these individuals carry this mindset into the workplace. Oh, I don't have the skill for it, so therefore somebody else should do it. Instead of, I don't have the skill set, but can somebody help me do this so I can learn? And that concept is just interesting, and that behavior, to see it, for me it's sad, because I want people to grow. I want people to get better at what they do. And when we talk about individual people getting better at what they do, it is hard. It is heartbreaking for me to see that how it's not working out. So there's this talk by Linda Rising, and I'll put the link down below. This is a video recording of one of her talk about the Agile Mindset. And in it talks about how they carry out experiments. And she used the term students. Of course, it's not just students, but multiple different people, where there's control set of people and given certain tests. So take a look at it. It is about an hour long. I know it's long, but it is worth it. I believe it is worth the time to go through it. And it changes how we think. It changes how me as a parent, how I would enable my kid so that they can be better at what they do, so that they're not afraid and get good at life. And that is so interesting that for Linda Rising to go through her things and talk about it. And she had the same talk over and over and over, and she did the first one a long while back, and she didn't think anybody would want to listen to her to talk about the Agile Mindset. But now everybody wants to hear that, right? So the recording is 2015, and I just went to Try Agile 2017, where she was a keynote speaker, and she talked about the same topic again. How do you change it? And I had a conversation with Charles the other day. When I see the behavior that we have at the workplace, how do we change it? How do we get people to go beyond that? Can we? Is it a society issue? Is it it stem from the past, stem from the parents, stem from a teacher, so therefore it's ingrained, so we can't change it? I don't believe that. I think we can change it. I believe we can change it. I think all we need to do is figure out how to change it. It's a slow process. It's not a quick process. Change comes slow. It's not fast. Even had a conversation with a person this week about change, about how it's okay, and change takes a long time. It takes it's easy to go do a retro. It's easy to bring out information, to bring out what's wrong. But it is hard for us to make the change It's not a quick one day, yay, aha, we can do this. No, change takes time. So the continuous change, continuous process comes into play too, as long as a person wants to change. So that's my rant, my gripe for this week. We had a busy week. It's one of those weeks we had a hackathon. The last 2 days we had the end of spring review, spring planning happening. Then we had hackathon that happened. Come next week, we're gonna have our roadmap session. We're gonna have PSI going on, and then we're gonna have this meeting, all hands on deck meeting with your CEO Ken Hudson. So it's all this happening all at the same time. People are stressed out when they don't need to. In my mind, we knew it's on there, it's been blocked on the calendar. We knew that the sprint is going to be light, but yet people stress about it. I mean, they have the right intention, right? They want to do work. This is disturbing their flow of work. So we got to get good at that, get better at condensing all these things. And I'm doing some proposal right now, talking to the GPO. I have talked to one of the overhead person. We'll pitch an idea to the overhead group come Monday during our regular overhead meeting that we have. So overhead, for those that you have questions what overhead means, overhead for us is a group of directors, managers, the agile coaches, and the architects, kind of the leader of our group, where we get together, we talk about things like this: how do we get improved as a big group, as a tribe, for example. So I want to pitch it in there to folks out there that I want to condense it. I think I don't think we can get away from those ceremonies. We have them for a reason. They're not long, they're short, they're really good. I want to bring more value to it. I do like the SAFE has what we call a PI, and at the end of it they have what's called a IP sprint and IP sprint, innovation and planning sprint. I do like that because we called it out. And similar to how we run scrums, we have at the beginning sprint planning, at the end sprint review, and then you have retro, right? And you do it over and over and over on a set cadence. So why can't we do the same thing here, similarly to how we run scrum? Nothing different, right? Take it out from a playbook, take a play from the playbook of SAFE. Same thing, we run it at a cadence called, maybe a quarterly cadence, for example. At the beginning of it, we had this roadmap planning, PSI planning that goes through that. At the end, we wrap it up to see where we are at. And then, tying the bow up, planning on there, where we have a hackathons be part of that spring, team building events be part of the spring, so we continuously invest in people, for example. Do things like that, and then call it out. Nothing changed, nothing. It is something we already do today. We just have to plan it better so it's in the flow. That way it's less stress on our people, on developers, so it doesn't interrupt the flow. So one of the pushback also that I've got, and not pushback but concerns, I have the similar concern, is how do we pitch this to the CTO? You're telling the CTO that you're not going to do work, but in reality we are doing that already today. Today we already have the ceremonies up. We're not saying more ceremonies. In fact, we could go less. We could, instead of doing. So right now our cadence is that our PSI roadmap is every 2 sprints. Instead of that, what do we do? 1 quarter, there's a beginning of it where we have roadmap PSI, and the end of the quarter we have one to wrap things up and start to kick off the other one. And in the middle you have a health check. So you have similar in between. So it's instead of 2 sprints to 3 sprints, right? So 6 sprints, it's about a quarter. So we do that. I think it makes things easier. It calls things out for us in how we do road mapping. It's set there, so we call it out. That way developers know, hey, it's out there. The management is behind it. The management agrees that it needs to be in place, so they don't stress out. They don't stress out about, oh, I have to go do work and we still have to do planning. And it's interesting to watch where people have this mindset of there is no planning in Agile. In reality, we do more planning. So this is one example. Why do we do it? Because it's important for us to be good at what we do, to know where we're going. And that's not a lot, right? So in the past, when you do planning at waterfall, wow, here's the whole big waterfall plan, ooh. But nobody hit those deadlines. You have a deadline in place, and what do? You rush work over time, and you still miss a deadline. You have this death march going. So with this, it's clear, transparent. That's why I kind of like Scrum, because it gives us that cadence. You don't have to run Scrum, right? So there's a lot of other framework that's out there. We just happen to use Scrum. I like Scrum because it does have a cadence. It calls things out. It's been transparent. It promotes a lot of the Agile manifesto's values, the 4 core values of it. So rambling for this week, gone from one topic to the other. It's been about 10 minutes now. It is a regular occurrence now. I'm sitting in front of McDonald's, like I said, doing this. I have to find a better venue. I am testing things out as I'm experimenting again with my recording, experimenting with my vlogging. If you've been following me, you can see I'm super happy that if I compare what I've done in the first place, the first vlog that I did, first video recording I did, it was horrible. I'm definitely now getting better at it, trying to figure out the equipment to use. I've learned a ton in terms of what not to use, what can be used. Spend some money up front. Probably could have spent less if I kind of knew what I wanted to do, which is kind of what this is, the vlogging. So today I'm doing, recording on an old camera that I bought my daughter. So a real simple Canon camera. I think it has better quality. It does capture the sound pretty well. But today I had it different. To last Saturday I used it just purely the camera. So today I'm testing it where I'm using it with my microphone, with an external microphone attached to my phone, where I'm capturing the audio of it, and I'm going to putting it post-production, putting it together to see if the sound is better, because the camera does capture too much sound, and I really don't want it to capture the rest of the sound. It does have a pretty good audio, but it does capture everything. So I've got it right now. There's actually a car beside me right now, so you could probably hear this sound. I don't know if I can get rid of this, but that's it for today, folks. There might be a little bit more attached to this. Other than that, hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to my weekend. I've got a book that I'm reading right now. I'll show you what it is. Difficult Conversations. I've read this book before. I just have to reread it again. Again, it's a reminder for myself how communication is important. I get caught up in it too, so it's a good thing to always improve myself, right? Alright, folks, I believe that's it. Hopefully, do remember to subscribe. Please subscribe. That allows me to see, do view my videos if you can. Please. The more views I get, it gives me more confidence. That's the feedback that I get. Alright, drop me a comment. I love comments. Tell me how I'm doing, good, bad, any suggestion for me. That again is feedback, right? Part of doing things is getting feedback. The more feedback I get, the better I get. So do drop me a line, do subscribe. Thank you. Bye. Got my haircut to close out the weekend. We're good. Shout out to Georgina for doing my haircut at Sports Clip. So if you are listening to watching my YouTube, thank you. So this is a shout out for you.